Welcome to the Support Report podcast, hosted by United Community Supports of Maryland. Here, we discuss any and all topics relating to adults with developmental disabilities as we strive to make support resources and other interesting topics more accessible to our community. On this episode of the Support Report, we will learn more about Sunshine Projects. You guys don't mind introducing yourselves and your titles, please?
Sure.
Yes, I am Alma Galemba. I'm the founder and the executive director of Sunshine Projects.
And I'm John Yoon, and I basically I'm everything else.
He wears a lot of hats.
A lot of other hats.
Yeah.
But again, we together we founded Sunshine Projects in December of 2019, and of course, Elma's relationship to the community goes back much longer, and maybe you can explain how it kind of started.
Yeah, and starting in 2008, I became a caregiver to a special needs child. She was 10 and a half at the time, and sort of like explored the world for her. Signed her up for a lot of different activities all over the place, especially Special Olympics, and also the special needs special needs hockey program, which is available in Montgomery County. So, because of cheerleading, Joy Cheerleading, the Special Olympics, I've met a lot of parents, over 100 of them. So that's how my world started with the special needs community. It was, wow, it's like an eye opener for me. And that was in 2012. And at the same time, when I found out about special need hockey, Montgomery County, that's another world, like another community. So together, I probably developed relationships with all the families. So, from there until she finished high school, ongoing to post high school, she turned 21. And that's when, I tried to look for a place for her to, of course, expand her world after 21 and find the right fit for her programming. And seems like there's nothing, for her, she's very well-traveled and she's done a lot of things in the community. I want her to further more the enrichment part, so I'm like, that's how I said, why not create something if I can't find anything for her. So so that's how everything started.
Yeah, and through trial and error and taking her to different programs, there just wasn't a good fit. And as the community itself, for those who are basically aging out of the system after 21, it's a real concern because parents they have to ask, what's next? What's next for my son and daughter, son or daughter? What programs can not only provide a meaningful day, but also the stepping stones and the skills needed to kind of have a meaningful life.
Yes.
A vocation, something they look forward to. And so Elma had this crazy idea, like, hey, why not if we can't find one, why don't we just build one ourselves, right? So
why not?
December 2019. So I built this website for her. She called all her friends and moms, and we started started classes.
Yes.
Unfortunately, COVID hit a few months later, and as you probably know, Rebecca, the world basically stopped, ground to a halt. Yeah. And as a result, obviously, our in-person classes couldn't continue anymore.
Yes.
So we were one of the very first organizations to pivot online. And we said, why don't we do this in a meaningful way?
Yes.
In essence, not offer 1 or 2 classes a week, but really offer a daily kind of schedule of really a range of different classes. So we embraced Zoom even before people knew what Zoom was.
It was a lot of trial and error.
Yeah,
right?
a lot of trial and error. But slowly the community embraced this because really there was nowhere else to go. They couldn't leave their homes. And many of the individuals in our community, they're also immunocompromised as well. And so being physically in front of other people was not an option.
Yeah, and we're all So shut down.
Yeah, and so
Right.
the handful of classes eventually evolved into 25 classes a week, including 10-week theater camps, which are performed online.
Yeah.
It became the basis of our community through COVID, and we've increased the subscriber base to well over 300 people nationally. We have families as far out as Hawaii that dial in regularly as well,
Yeah.
in other parts of the world. So it's great to see this community come together. And when the world slowly started opening up again, people craved to be in person. They wanted to see each other in person, and we embraced that. So we started with a series of summer camps, skill builders camps for a handful of folks. But the trickle became kind of like a flood after a while. And what we've done was we've actually converted our home. I know you're seeing a small piece of this now, but
like a school.
we've converted our entire home to really all the needs of the day program for Sunshine Project. So in addition to our online programming, which still offers well over 20 classes a week, we have an active day program, really fulfilling the needs, particularly those young adults who are aging out of the system, who are graduating high school, or starting classes at the local community college, to provide not only a meaningful day program, but something that allows them to build their skills, to provide meaningful occupation, as well as a social aspect as well. Because as you know, our community loves being social. They love being in the spotlight,
Yeah,
and we give them every opportunity and venues to do that, especially being with their friends. Our day program in itself runs from 10 to 4 Monday through Friday. And we have a tremendous team of people here to support our efforts, both as staff members and instructors.
And we are also very hands-on.
Yeah, so we're
all day.
Teaching, but also running the programs. And the community really has gotten closer as a result of this both hybrid option, online and in person. So I think we're one of the very few organizations out there that really offer a robust online coupled with an in-person day program now, at least for as far as I know.
Yes.
We've had, just to give you an understanding of some of our online classes, we have a weekly cooking show that's been on every week for the last 3 years. Right. Some of our classes have been on at that same time every week for the last 3 years. And as you know, many of the kids, they're particular about schedules.
Yes.
So you can't deviate from that at all. It's on their calendar. If it's not starting exactly that minute, some issues.
I get a lot of text.
Lots of text. So, and it's become kind of their daily repertoire. If they can't join us in person, then they have the full means of joining us online. So in many ways, having both online and in person has really given us a great way to kind of keep our community together, but also broaden our reach to more than just Montgomery County.
Oh, that's so fantastic. And where exactly in person are you guys located?
So our in-person facilities are in Bethesda, Maryland. And a stone throw away from Potomac and the DC corridor.
Kind of like the middle.
Kind of the middle. We have families that join our day program as far out as Virginia to DC to Maryland. Obviously, the majority residing here in Montgomery County. And again, it is a day program where it's structured in a way where not only is it building skills, but really, I'd say the building blocks of trying to find a job, and some of this, and you have to ask yourself, what is the output? What is the outcome? And ultimately, the outcome is to find them a meaningful vocation, a job. When Biddy and Bose opened up in Georgetown, and shout out to Biddy and Bose out there, we were able to put together video interviews and work on their resumes for many of our participants. And through Elma's connections, we were able to land 4 of them jobs there, which was phenomenal.
It's been an ongoing, really amazing experience for them, and they look forward to it every day. And
we realize that not everyone in our community would be okay with a job. We understand that.
Yeah.
And so if we can't find them a job, we asked ourselves, we said, why not we'll create a business, for the kids.
We
And
like to
so
create.
so during their day program, we've actually launched two businesses. One is called Sunshine Barkery, which is a dog biscuit bakery.
Oh, cute.
And
Yeah.
and we have regular selling days. Part of the week they spend
Yeah.
baking, packing, wrapping, filling customer orders, all of which are also available to buy online. Hint, 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 right? And also an online flower business called Joy Petals. And the beauty of these businesses is that it isn't a storefront. Although we do sell at a kiosk weekly for our dog biscuits here in Cap and John.
Yeah, it's so nice.
It's a great way to interface with the public, meet our customers. Everyone loves dogs. We're dog lovers as well. And of course, our flower business.
Yeah.
And when you get flowers delivered by our participants, I mean, how can you not smile? I mean, have you ever gotten flowers and never smiled? It doesn't work that way. So it's a win-win for everyone, the community, our kids, and we call them our kids because they really are our kids.
Yeah, they learn a lot of skills from doing so.
Customer management, order fulfillment.
They make flowers themselves.
Customer correspondence, because every order does get a personalized letter from at least one of our participants. And so everyone gets involved, and it becomes kind of not just a group activity, but a meaningful activity, because it teaches them the fundamentals of how to run a business, how to work with customers, how to, swipe the card to accept customer orders. And all of these have a practical impact on their ability to maybe hold the job elsewhere. And so, that's part of what we do. Outside of the vocational aspect, there's a large social aspect to it also.
Right. Yeah.
In addition to our day program, and we hold regular social hours with the kids. We have our ongoing Friday karaoke party every Friday, and Saturday dance parties, and some of these are done online. And it's become kind of their outlet. And their social outlet.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's been hugely rewarding in that aspect, life-changing, but also really satisfying, knowing that you've made an impact on so many lives, and frankly, for the lives of their parents, because many of the parents have expressed to us that, without some of the programming that we've done, they really have to wonder what their son or daughter would have been doing, where they would be spending their time. And we feel for them, and I wish we had more space here to come in more bodies, but again, I hope that kind of gave you the kind of the overview, the bird's eye view of what we do. Yeah.
The good thing is you have to come visit during the
we highly encourage
hours. You're gonna
visit during the day.
Yeah, a lot of hugs.
Lots of hugs,
and
so Alma sends out a weekly schedule of activities for the week for our day program. The current job experiences that we have in place now include ushering at Imagination Stage here in Bethesda.
That's every day.
That's every day, actually. So we have a team rotating team every morning that helps to usher these actual shows in Bethesda. So they're taking tickets and helping theater goers find their seats, helping stage and clean up afterwards as well. And for many of them, they consider this their job, which is great. The added benefit is they get to enjoy the show afterwards, which is great.
Oh, I love it.
They get to stay on the show for free.
That's
like a win-win situation.
And a big part of this is really community inclusion. Everything that we do and have done involves a community in some way. It's not like it's not like taking them to the mall or a store.
Yeah, we also had just finished writing cards for the Wounded Warriors, and we just delivered them yesterday. It's like Valentine's cards for Walter Reed.
They produced 400.
Yeah.
So they worked on it for a few weeks, and they made 400 Valentine's Day cards handmade. that we delivered to Walter Reed Hospital here to benefit many of the wounded warriors,
Yes.
right? And so that they felt a little love during Valentine's Day, especially if they didn't have a Valentine's, you know.
Oh, that's
Very
so
cute.
That was great.
Yeah, it's just,
really love that.
oh, we are blessed with
Yes.
having to know this community. Definitely.
Yes, truly.
Yeah,
And
so-
speaking of your community, I mean, you guys have so many different types of programs. How does one join? Is it a membership? Is it, per program? How does that
Yeah,
work?
that's a great question. Our online classes, because we offer so many, and we realize that certain folks they just like cooking, which is fine, right?
Mhm.
But we offer things on a monthly membership for our online classes, kind of like a Netflix model. You
Yeah.
get all the channels with one flat price.
Which
It's
is
yeah,
not so much.
it's $100 a month, but that includes 20 classes a week. And if you look at from a programming standpoint,
Yeah.
that's 20 hours of programming a week that you get.
Yes.
And with a dedicated instructor. These classes are fun, but also
Very
interactive,
yes.
interactive and engaging. And that's on the online side.
Yes.
Obviously, on the in-person side, many of the families are self-directed, and we work with their budgets to find a way to make the hours work for them. Most are full times, which
Yes.
means from 10 to 4, Monday through Friday. But they really have a choice. If their son or daughter may prefer being in person, some do. We understand that. We have a very active and engaging day program. And for those who want to take a few classes and kind of supplement their existing schedules and join us for from some social events online, that's always also an option available to them as well.
Nice. Yeah. Awesome.
Very flexible.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Flexibility is a key.
Yes,
Try.
it really is. I think especially, in this type of field, it unfortunately can be rare just with the way somehow that, things are structured with there has to be like a certain number of hours and blocks and all that kind of thing. So the fact that you
Yeah.
guys are so flexible, I think is just really awesome.
Yeah, and again, for those who might be interested in seeing our online classes, obviously all the classes are posted online. We post the schedule online as well for online classes, and we would certainly encourage you to reach out to Elma to at least audit a class. It doesn't cost anything to try a class.
Yeah, exactly.
See how your son or daughter likes the class, and maybe pick one from the class schedule that might work for your schedule and the subject. For those interested in the in-person day program, as you know, space is always an option. And although we have a limited space here, we would like to accommodate as many people as possible. And so if that's another option that you're considering, again, I would encourage you to schedule a visit during the day and meet the staff, meet the kids.
Yeah.
That would be the first starting point.
Yes.
Great. And then the best form of contact is through your website with your email.
It really is. So you can send a query or a chat online. Elma's email is listed there as well. So and number, I believe, also.
Yes, everything is in the website. Yeah.
And as much information is on the website as possible,
Yeah.
Including the ability to schedule any of these classes online.
Perfect. And I know you guys kind of already touched on this, but just to reiterate, what do you feel is just the most rewarding part of what you do?
I'll let Elma.
I always cry. Yeah, seeing them to like the doors open at 9:30 and the children come, and just having to being able to provide a safe environment for them, and also when they're all here, it's like a very supportive group, and it just warms your heart when you see that like they're happy. Right.
Well,
and also fulfilled the days like.
Yeah, I think the biggest impact that certainly I've seen and we've seen together is seeing them accomplish a task. Even the fact that when some of them actually found meaningful employment.
Yes.
Through our help, and seeing the seeing, from their perspective, like, I can do this.
Yes.
It's
definitely.
possible. Like,
Mhm.
anything's possible. We feel that anything's possible for our kids.
Yes. It's like you give them a chance to fulfill what they can fulfill, what we can do, right? It's just give them a chance and they'll do it, and they're so happy.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
they are capable of so much.
Mhm.
Not just so much love, but also so much potential, and we see that, and we want the community at large to see that as well. And so, seeing that happen, seeing people who may be new to the community interact with us in our program and our kids,
Mhm.
that's always a plus too, because
Yeah.
it becomes a broader outreach for us to reach out to the community at large, who may not be aware of how to work with someone who is on the spectrum, or who may have a learning disability, or who may respond in a different way than a typical neurotypical person would. How do you work with him or her in a work environment?
Yes.
What are things to be mindful of? So part of this is also educating the public,
Right.
but also making sure that our kids and our participants are actively engaged with a broader community.
Yeah.
And
The acceptance.
the acceptance part, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic. Well, John, Elma, thank you so very much. We really appreciate your time.
I appreciate
Thank you
you
so-
having us, Rebecca.
Yes.
Thank you so
Rebecca.
much.
Thanks again for listening to the Support Report podcast. Tune in next month for a new episode.